What's happening, fight fans? Welcome back to the MMA Mindset. Back with another Cage Warriors 164 pre-fight interview. If you haven't seen the video that came out on Friday, go check it out. Jack Eglin's fighting Enrico De Ganji. Fantastic fight. Jack always brings it, so make sure you go check out that interview. But without further ado, I am here with Bailey Gilbert, who will be taking on a late notice replacement fight, Orlando Prince. Thank you very much for joining me, Bailey.
Cheers for having us, mate. It's always good to be on.
Yeah, not a problem. Obviously, returning guest, channel favorite. Yeah, we love Bailey here. A week away from Cage Warriors 164, mate. Obviously in Newcastle, hometown. How are you feeling? How excited are you? Are you just ready to get in there and get the business done?
Yeah, mate. Feel great. Like everyone says every time that it's the best I've ever felt and that. But like, honestly, I couldn't have prepared for this fight any better. Like things couldn't have went any better in like getting everything ready for this fight and to come do this in Newcastle. It's the closest fight I've had to home for a good long while. So it's great to see the amount of support, the amount of people coming through, the amount of interest in it all. And I also think it's meant for Northeast MMA. Like to finally have another big show back up here. Like I think we had PFL earlier in the year, and Bellator was here a couple of years ago. But it's just Northeast MMA is where it's at, so it's good to see it all happening and get them back up here.
Yeah, definitely. Just speaking about that, obviously we've had PFL in Newcastle. We've got Cage Warriors in Newcastle. Octagon MMA have just announced a show at the end of January for Newcastle. The UFC said that they're going to be moving away from London now, I think, because obviously the last card didn't sell too well. So how good it would be, obviously, if we get a UFC in Newcastle as well. How important is it for just like obviously the northeast of England to have all these big shows coming?
Yeah, I mean, if we get another UFC Newcastle, that would be absolutely class. Like I said, the amount of talent there is up here is unreal. But even just to get like the UFC up here with UK guys, it would be amazing. Like you've got the Utility Arena, which is massive, and then they're currently on building a bigger one next to the Sage when that eventually gets done as well. So the arenas are there to do it from. It's just them coming up and doing it.
Yeah, definitely. It feels like a no-brainer. Moving on to obviously your fight. How have you dealt with the late change of opponent? Has it affected your camp? Have you had to prepare any differently, or have you just kind of kept on doing what you've been doing?
Just obviously different opponent, different style to look at. Just adjusted accordingly. I still train flat out and focus on what I want to do most anyway. But it's still watch tape, adapt the game plan. It happened about 4 weeks out, so it wasn't short notice like it sometimes is. So there was plenty of time to adjust and make the right adaptations and watch plenty of tape on them, and I'm feel confident.
Yeah, obviously you were meant to be fighting Declan, now fighting Orlando. What are the kind of differences between the two? What sort of different threats do you think Orlando poses for you that maybe Declan didn't?
Slight change. He's more. I think he's more grapple heavy, more happy to play off his back, jiu-jitsu wise. I know Declan was a good grappler himself, but he enjoyed the stand-up a lot more, being a 6'2", 6 foot odd southpaw. It gives you that little bit more range to a little bit more advantage on the feet, whereas Orlando is a bit shorter, so you can see why he doesn't play it that as much. But he's got good stand-up as well. He's Dutch, and like everyone in the dog in the Netherlands has done kickboxing at some point, so he's got a bit of a striking background as well. He's not just a grappler. So yeah, he's well rounded and he's athletic, so it's a good fight.
Yeah, it should be a good fight. And like I said, we don't we always expect to get good scraps whenever you step in the cage. Just obviously want to touch on last fight with Tom Mearns. During that fight, especially in the third round, you started to really show what people have seen from you and what people expected of you, and you were pouring it on in that third round, and I think that was kind of what we expected to see. How did you kind of deal with the defeat in the last bout? Because I know you didn't make any excuses, you took it on the chin, and you kind of used that to improve yourself. But how did you kind of deal with that? And do you think that was an important learning curve for you?
Yeah, so I came out of that fight, and the first thing I said was backstage was I've just got to be better next time. You'll never hear an excuse come from me. You'll never hear me point the blame in any other direction other than myself. I just didn't perform as well as I know that I can, and that was the kick in the teeth for me. Is I know I can perform better than that, and yeah, so it was just a case of going away from it, and now it's like, right, now here's your chance. You're only as good as your last fight, and you didn't do as well as you should have. So your next fight's in Newcastle, hometown, home crowd, Cage Warriors. Now it's time to sort it out and do it right. So it was just the opportunities there to jump back in there and fix that mistake straight away. So I've just used that as a kick up the arse to get myself into gear and make the adjustments I needed to.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I spoke to Brad Wharton, Cage Warriors commentators after the fight, and he was full of nothing but praise for you because people don't take their first Cage Warriors fight against someone like Tom Mearns, who's an absolute veteran, has been in the sport for years, especially when you're only 23 years old yourself. So I feel like that was like a massive learning curve for you, and I think you're only going to get better. Obviously, I can imagine. Obviously, you were gutted at the time, but when you look back on that fight, do you like highlight the things you did right, and have you kind of corrected the things that you think you did wrong?
Yeah, so I watched it back. I knew straight away after the fight, before I'd even watched it, I was sat there saying what I needed to change, what I needed to work on. And that I was a bit harsher on me. Like, I'm not my harshest critic. So all I was full of hell of what I'd done wrong. And then when I took the time to sit down and watch it back, I had to point out where it went well, what I'd done well, and exactly where I went wrong, what I needed to change, exactly how I needed to change it. Yeah, like I said, I'm 23-year-old, and this is my 13th pro fight coming up. So yeah, I don't know. I'm
14th,
terrible.
14th pro fight.
14th pro, there you go then. 14th pro fight coming up at 23-year-old, and yeah, like being in there with some top guys already, and just the way we like it. We like a challenge. I need that challenge to drive us on to push us to go that extra mile. If I don't have the possibility of losing, then where's the push? Where's the risk?
Yeah, definitely. There's too many people who kind of just try for as long as possible take fights against people who they know they're going to beat. Doesn't really do anything, and the fans in the UK are getting more intelligent now, and we kind of know people's records and who people have fought. So I'm really excited to see kind of where you've adapted and learned over the past few months. Obviously, fighting in London last time, there's always that north-south divide, and it's always there, no matter what we say. With always the north-south divide, but like you said, you're back in Newcastle. What do you think the atmosphere is going to be like? Because I think it's going to be nuts in there.
Mate, you're talking the best fans in the world. Like, it's going to be absolutely crazy. And like I said on the when Cage Warriors interviewed us down London, it's not just me and my mates and my gym supporting me. It's all the guys from TFT, MFA, all the other top gyms. Like, we all train together. I go there spar and they come spar with us, so I know them all. I know a lot of lads like from them gyms. So when I walk out, it's not just my fans going nuts. It's everyone, and it's the same for all the Northeast guys on. And there's some sick fights on the card. So it's only going to, as the card goes on, is just get better and better. And like I said, it's the best fans in the world.
Yeah, I've asked this question to Jack Eglin. I said, what does it mean? Because this seems like it's going to be one of the best Cage Warriors cards that they've ever put on. Like it's stacked. What does it feel? How does it feel? Sorry, to be part of this card, to one of these cards that could go down in UK MMA history.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, just to be on the, like, for them to be coming to Newcastle after being away for so long. Like I said last time, for them to be coming up north, like not long after I've signed, and have the opportunity to be on there and be part of that in itself, and then for the card to come out the way it has with the fights that they've put on. What is it? Two title fights, and then a load of Northeast lads. Like, it's not like PFL where there was a couple of Northeast lads on, and it was all international. This is like from bottom to top. You've got local lads, or you've got like Scottish lads, like all traveling down, and it's all going to be in this like arena, and it's just going to be absolutely bouncing.
Yeah, do you think for like the international guys coming in, like people like Orlando, do you think they're going to be a bit like, whoa, shit? Because even like all the lads from Scotland, because you guys are so close in Newcastle, they're going to be supporting you against the international guys because you're all from the UK. Do you think these international guys who are fighting some of the hometown guys are going to be a bit like taken back by the atmosphere and by how loud it will be in there?
I couldn't tell you for other people because I hope it riles them up and it gets them going and it brings out the best in them. Because I find when I fought well under pressure, I thrive under pressure. So I look like when I went down to Wolverhampton and fought their poster boy in front of like a load of fans going, "It's them." I done better, and now the pressure is the other way on me. That everyone who's ever going to come watch me fight is going to come to this one because it's the closest it's been for years and probably is the closest it'll be for a while. So I've got to perform in front of them. So that pressure is great for me, and I love that, and I love pressure. So, however, I don't know how Orlando's going to deal with it. I hope it spurs him on there. He wants to get the upset, and it makes it a good fight, but we'll see.
Yeah, I remember, like I said, I remember the Thomas Paul fight. We spoke about it last time, and like when you finished him, you could have heard a pin drop in that place, and it was just like I said, it was the poster boy of the Midlands MMA. Like I know he's from London and that, but Golden Ticket kind of built their promotion around him, and they had the Sky show about him getting to Dana White's Contender Series. So obviously you coped really well in that scenario. It's just time to see if someone else can do the same. I've been keeping an eye on your Instagram like I always do. I've seen you've been spending a bit of time with Carl Eleanor. He's unbelievable on the mats. Like it's beautiful to watch him on the mats. Where else have you kind of been moving about this camp?
Yeah, so like I said, we'll get all over the northeast. Being a SBG, Bishop Auckland, done rounds with Cam, who I actually like fought in the past, Cam Hardy. So being for rounds with Cam, I've been like a lot of me sparring. I get down TFT with their guys because they've got like a lot of good featherweights there as well. MFA, getting with Harry and George. Honestly, if there's a gym in the northeast, I've been there. I go to Thai at Berkeley. I do my S&C at like Pure Gym. I work with Steve Gordon on the S&C. But like it's like as you when you first start out in Northeast MMA, you fight guys from gyms that are like round the corner. Like when I first started, I fought a guy from Roca, and now like as you progress and you fight people from further afield, you get kind of this bond, and it's like I love to see all the guys from the northeast do well, and they love to see me do well. It's like it's not competition anymore. It's like support, and we all love to see each other. Like we all like to bring each other on. That's why I like getting sparring in. Like if I get better, they get better. They get better, I get better. It works both ways. As you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Yeah, that's what I love about like the area up in the northeast because I don't think you see that much in London because it's such a big place. I don't really think a lot of them are all about building each other up. But like in Liverpool, you've got it with them all building each other up. Manchester's the same, northeast is the same. So it's great to see. I just want to touch on two coaches in your neck of woods that are kind of people that I look up to as well. Andrew Fisher and Davy Grant. Obviously, two of the gyms there that you mentioned. How much do those two like inspire you? Because they've had great careers. Obviously, Davey's still having a great career. How much do those guys kind of inspire you?
Yeah, the inspired us for like a long time because obviously when you first get in MMA, you don't really know people. You just like well, I didn't anyway. I didn't come into MMA from watching it or anything. I just knew someone who trained and that got me into it. And then I watched it, and then you start seeing people like that at shows and events, and there's such and such, and then you get to know them, and they're all nice guys. And I was just saying this the other day: is all the nicest people I know do the most violent sport in the world, and it's the most bizarre thing. You can walk in any gym, everyone's your mate, everyone's pally, everyone loves to see you. Like Carl's another one. Carl's one of the soundest people you'll meet, and yeah. But seeing like Davey do well in the UFC after like such a long time as well, like he's been in the UFC for ages, like years, and he's still having wars and great fights. And Fisher had an absolutely mint career. And now he's just focusing on coaching, but like he had an absolutely great run. And it's like there are a lot of staples in the northeast MMA scene that are just have like a special place.
Yeah, it's class. And just obviously speaking about some of the like nicest people, I think my missus before me and her had met, she'd never even really known about MMA. And then I took her to her events and she was like, why is everyone so lovely? And then they do that to each other. And I'm like, because no one needs to be an asshole. No one has to be an asshole. No one has to prove themselves. Everyone's just sound. So I think that's kind of a difference that I see other than boxing, maybe? Because I think boxing there's a bit more of an animosity, especially between the fans as well. They're always fighting at boxing matches. I don't get it, and yeah, it's been a
Yeah. Mate, I grew like some of my early fights were in Spennymoor, and that is like one rough neighborhood. And like every MMA show, there was fights, but it was never the fighters; it was always the crowd. But like I've got some like crazy stories from fights kicking off in the crowds and stuff, places like that. But yeah, and on a whole, I do feel like you're more welcome in an MMA gym when you walk in. I think you get a wider range of people in the gym, and everyone's been ego checked by some 60 kilo purple belt at some point in their life. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm off out of Renegade on Saturday to do some filming with them and Ronin, and I just know there'll be no one looking at me, no one eyeballing me or anything. It'll just be fine. So yeah, this is why I kind of love the sport. Just moving on to next year. Obviously, should you get through this year with no injuries, no problems, what are you kind of looking for 2024? What are your targets? What are your goals?
I'm going to say what comes out calendar wise, uh, where where the fights are and stuff. Like I like maybe get a bit go abroad, go like maybe Italy or Dublin or somewhere like that if they've got cards over there. But I'll just see what lines up. Like I said, this is my 14th fight coming up, so I mean I don't need to rush in my career. I don't need to take 4 fights a year where I'm at. Like I'm 23. I'm still growing as an athlete and grown as a person as well. So yeah, I'm just going to see what comes up and what opportunities there is. And I always say this, like I say this every year, like I'm just going to see what fights there is, and then I end up taking a load of fights because I feel lost without it. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
always say the same thing. So watch me say I'll have a couple and watch me fight loads,
yeah.
but we'll see what comes up.
But that's why, like I said, you're 23 and you've had 15, but you're on your 14th pro fight because, like I said, I guarantee next year it'll be like February, and I'll be messaging you going, "Oh, do you want to come on MMA Mindset again for a chat about your fight?" Because you'll have another one in like 8 weeks' time. So yeah, I can 100% see that. And just before I let you go, have we got a prediction for fight night?
Same as every time, mate. Violence.
Well, that's exactly what will happen, and I'm sure of it, mate. But yeah, like you said, guys, make sure you. I don't even think there's any. I think there's like 50 tickets left. So if you want to get tickets, good luck getting tickets. But no, fantastic night. It'll be amazing. 25th of November, in Newcastle. Get to see Bailey fight. Watch it on UFC Fight Pass. But no, really appreciate your time, Bailey.
No, thanks for having us, mate. It's always a pleasure coming on.
Not a problem. Hopefully, I'll get to speak to you after, mate. And yeah, good luck and all the best for next weekend.
Thanks, man.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.